Hello, guys. This is our first podcast uh, type video. I am Ethan,
I'm
and
Brandon.
yes, and he is Brandon. Today Kyle isn't here to join us. But our channel EBK Prince is going to be a trio channel, which means it's a three-way partnership. So yeah, this channel is about 3D printing, and we plan to expand to many different topics. So, first point of discussion is I think our first YouTube short video is probably going to be comparing plates. I can actually do that because I have the smooth PI, engineering, cool plate, textured, and H1H light and phantom. So yeah,
Basically, every practical bamboo plate that
I
exists.
already except for the new the special textured or sorry, special effect plates. Yeah, and right now I'm printing. Oh, perfect! It just finished. Um, my bamboo mouse. So we'll take it off the plate as we continue this podcast. Yeah. So basically, podcast on my channel here. It's just going to be us chatting about 3D printing, and yeah, really, it's not going to be very polished or edited. It's really just going to be basically raw recordings of um us 3D printing.
Yeah,
And
either
so
like shorts or showcases in like longer
yep,
form videos, but like basically no editing unless it's like a short
yep,
and we had to add
yeah,
text.
yeah. So the thing is we are all students, and we do actually have a life, and we do have time that is limited. So of course you won't expect content to be as good as someone 30-year-old in a basement who has every all 24 hours of the day. And
Not as frequent
yeah,
either, but like yeah, we'll try our hardest.
yeah, we'll try our best to run this channel. And of course, we are going to be honest because um we will show it to you how it actually is. And so a lot of the time I think it's maybe a lot of YouTubers are guilty of this, even the best ones, is that when you make a mistake or you fail, you don't show it. Here at EBK Prince, we plan to be completely honest. If
So
it's a
we'll show
fail,
all our fails,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll show it. It's very behind the scenes, basically. So
We'll
whatever
try and become like
fails,
yeah, a
yeah,
community.
we're going to be really honest. And now, I know because of course, um, it is nice to just sit there, telling lies, sugarcoating, glazing over everything, all the products, and then getting all the sponsorships. That is nice. But then we lack integrity. So with this channel, I really want I whenever I say something here that's very good, it's because it actually is good. Now, for example, okay, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm not sponsored to say this, at least not yet. Um, but Polymaker and Overture are one of the best 3D printing companies for filament that I've ever encountered with. They sponsored me for our project, um, ICC Fair project, and that's actually where the name EBK Prince came from. So basically, before some of you think that I have some elaborate story on how we got this name, it was really just me, Brandon, and Kyle just sitting in class. We were bored. I was like, we need a name for our stand, right? And I was like, you know what, Ethan, Brandon, Kyle. Let's call it EBK Prince, and there we go. And
I mean, I had to put his name first.
yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Leaders always get their name first. Yeah, and so yeah, so we're just going to call it how we see it, and we're going to be honest because really, if you want me to say that every product is the best and that it's good, and want me to just ignore the mistakes, if you really want that, if enough people want that, I can go ahead and make a second channel just to tell you lies if you want. But I believe most of us really want the truth. And even if eventually we're sponsored, we want to tell the truth, right? That we've seen there's two types of YouTubers. Those who they themselves obviously know that what they're advertising or what they're sponsored to say isn't true, but they still just say it just for the sponsorship. Now, I want to we with this channel, we want to strike a middle ground where it's we get the if we're offered sponsorships, we'll take it because that helps us grow more. And then eventually, actually, it'd be pretty cool for me, Brandon and Cal, to do a print farm. But what's really important is that we actually are able to keep our honesty, right? That we're saying it because it's actually true and because we want to say it, not because we were paid to say it. Now that means these companies often, I from what I've heard, they usually give the content creators a script, right? Or like key points to cover. I think what if we are sponsored, I think what I'll accept is probably like having key points, right? And not just an entire script to read off, right? Like for example, I can't go, oh, ABC company is the best filament company because they print fast, they have high quality, and they're really cheap.
Well, like,
And okay, and yeah, that's very general, right? Do you have anything to add or?
I mean, like, if there is a continuous loop of just like positive stuff that we're showing, it's because not because we're like sponsored or anything, even if we are, we will say the like negative stuff. It's probably because we do our research and we like look into what's good or not. If you say like go into comment section, say that so and so something is bad and we said it was good, then yeah, prove it to us and yeah. I mean like maybe.
Yeah, I'm not we're not the type of people that when you give us an argument, we're just gonna directly shoot you down. No, what if you give us a genuinely good argument and you give us, supporting points, you give us, contentions and like reasons why. Okay, for example, if I, for example, we do a video on let's say ABC Filament Company. I say, okay, it's fast, it's high quality, and they have a lot of color options. But for example, let's say you live in Romania, okay, for example, and they only stock black and white there, right? Then you can tell us that, and that's objectively true. That we'll concede to that, right? And if, for example, you've had bad experiences yourself. Now, to be fair, it varies from person to person, roll to roll, printer to printer. A lot of the time, it's not, you know, just related, right? Um, Yeah, there's a lot of times that it's not necessarily the product, it could be the printer settings or whatever. Now, Brandon needs to hop out for a sec, so I'm gonna keep ahead
No, no,
above the
I'm
water
fine,
here.
I'm fine, I'm fine. It was just for that one moment.
Okay,
I
now we're
was
good.
a bit kept up.
Yeah. So, do you have anything to add while I grab the Allen key to install my mouse?
Okay, bro. So, yeah, that's basically about it. Just follow us around. We'll
Yeah, and
probably
then
upload maybe once every week, a short, or maybe like an
yeah,
update
maybe more
on what we're
often.
doing.
Yeah, I think once a week is a good target for now. But it's a new venture. We've actually all of us have never done this type of thing before. I've seen other classmates and other people do it from a young age. And okay, I'm not gonna point names, but we have this classmate. Let's call him Brian. Okay, yeah, that's not his actual name,
Yeah.
but we'll call him Brian. And so Mr. Brian here, he had a channel. It was a gaming channel. It was pretty successful at one point, like, it's like a few hundred to 1,000 subscribers. Eventually, he kept growing, but then, he was busy because you can't it's very hard to keep up, with all the stuff, right? And, when you push yourself, I there's a lot of burnouts. I've seen a lot of YouTubers who are doing great, millions of subscribers, but then they drop out because they just can't take it. Now, with this channel, I'm not really trying to push anything. I'm just trying to live life. And if I happen to get millions of subscribers along the way, if I happen to get, tens or hundreds of sponsorships, sure, that's good. But that's not really the goal of this channel. The goal of this channel is just to, enjoy my life, enjoy 3D printing, and, share my results. So it's a community thing, really. And I know that might sound kind of glazing or just to say it just for the sake of looking good and you wouldn't be wrong. Point here is that it's really good to interact with the community. So
So yeah,
I help.
community
I Yeah,
posts
I've
and
gone
then
so yeah.
Discord. We're gonna be very available on Discord, and if Ethan or Kyle is busy, and that is like some of the time, I will probably be available. Like I finish most of my stuff at school, so I will
Yeah,
usually
me
be able
too. Yeah.
to make video, send some video requests in the Discord or in the comment section. We'll make it if it's not
Yeah.
too outrageous, of course.
Yeah, okay. And first of all, if y'all haven't noticed, we are students and we are not millionaires and certainly not billionaires. So please just save us time and your time. Don't ask for things like, "Ooh, do a video on smashing your P1S for an April Fool's video." That's not happening. Unless you send me one or I'm sponsored and they let me do it, even then I'm not. Cause okay, one thing we have to tell you here is me and Kyle both have a P1S combo. Mine is pretty decked out. He's more of a aesthetic or everyday printer. I'm more of a practical printer.
So yeah,
He owns
he has
Silks,
the
Galaxies.
Silk, Galaxy Nebula,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Ethan owns like PC
Yeah.
polycarbonate light
Yeah,
and some other
PC,
stuff.
from Polymaker, PC Light, Polylight polycarbonate, and then I own, some Ariel PET GCF, and then now some Overture Easy Nylon. By the way, shout out to Greg at Overture for hooking me up with some nylon and some TPU replacement TPU after my first spool of white TPU didn't work out. It was a lemon spool, and I am doing a Steam project, and actually I do have a video for that I've already edited, so that will be on the way. Now let's see. Is ooh
Yeah, and also, like, by the way, just do not harp on them for any filament, like any free filament, please. The reason why they gave us filament was because there was either a flaw in the filament that arrived, or it was for educational purposes, which is why we are receiving some stuff.
yeah, and let me see if we can get Kyle in here. He's a bit busy.
Ethan's basically our main spokesperson, but
Yeah,
like, yeah.
I really just enjoy 3D printing. I love this, is my passion. Um, this is a podcast, but yeah, we're probably just gonna, I don't know, put a background and just to really get it started. I'll upload this as a podcast and also just a video with a blank background, or just some
Yeah, and then we
calming,
will post
relaxing things. Yeah,
shorts.
yeah, but yeah, we just have a lot of stuff here. Like I've desiccant. Oh, and airless baseball. Brandon can tell you about that. Brandon, go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. So basically, like when Ethan got his what was it? His TPU,
My white
and
overture TPU. Yeah.
yeah, and then he he got some like extra. So then, like someone from Overture, I believe, he asked him to like,
Greg, it's not extra. So like, he sent me the new spool, right? Because it didn't
oh
work,
yeah,
and then he
yeah,
was like, "Yeah, me and him, he struck up a deal with me. He was like, I'll send you a spool, like another spool of GPU to replace, and I'll even throw in a bit of nylon, right? If well, like filament of your choice. So I chose nylon,
and
but
then yeah, and
if
then
yeah,
he,
print that for me and share the results. And I did it. I took photos with an iPhone 11 on the portrait mode, and boy, did it look great. If you guys want requests, I'll maybe put up that video. Now, I know there's very low chance that many people, above 10 people, will ever listen to this podcast because I don't like listening to podcasts either. It's really short form content, but I'm living my life and I get to talk about these. We do chats like these anyways once in a while, and we might as well record them and post it for you guys. Okay, so as we finish that up, I just installed my new outer shell for my mouse. It is a bit rough, I will admit that. But it is out of Polymaker Polylite PETG, and this was the electric blue color. So there are a few blemishes, which is normal because it's a very tall object. I chose the rounded back mod from someone, so it's going to be. Oof. I'm just gonna try to sand it up here. There's a few gaps, but it works.
everything
it's
we
pretty clean compared
showcase
to
and
my.
everything,
Yeah, I did
showcase our tier
Overture.
list, we will include links in the
Yeah.
description or,
Yep.
you
And
know,
actually, right now, we're going to end this podcast, and we're actually going to start recording, maybe a tier list video. Okay. Thanks, guys.
yeah, for
Hello, guys. I'm Ethan, and today we have a guest speaker. Hello. Everyone, say hello to Mr. Redboom here. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So today's this is season 1, episode 2. So today we're going to be talking about a new print I just finished today and our editing. So yeah, how oh yeah, by the way, first of all, I would like to interview Red Boom over here. So what printers do you own?
I own a couple. Um, I guess where do I start? I mean, I guess I'll start with who I am. So I started in
Yeah, that's
2021
okay.
with 3D printing. I got myself a Ender 3 clone because it was cheap on Amazon at Thanksgiving. Perfect start, right? And from
Yeah.
there, I went into Anycubic, went into their Cobra and Viper series. There, I went to Bamboo Labs because they just dropped a new printer. It looked like a better deal than the MK3, the Prusa MK3. And from
Yeah.
there, built a Trident, the Voron Trident.
Ooh.
And now here I am. Also have a Sidewinder X4 Plus, which funny enough almost started a fire for me. So that is being given away right now to someone a little more experienced than me, so they can fix it up and make use of it. Like I can fix it up too, but honestly, I'm just too busy. I don't want to bother with it. But yeah,
Okay.
currently right now, Trident, Bamboo Lab UNP, Cobra, and Viper. That's pretty much my setup. Oh, and the Cobra 2, because I
Okay.
was sent the Cobra 2 as a review unit, so that was that.
Okay. So as we speak right now, I just took a toggle fidget off plate, and the bottom side is completely fused. It's blobbed up, so that's a fail. On my channel here, we're very honest. If it fails, I will say it failed. That was a fail. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a student, and I stayed up for many years before I even knew what I wanted to spend my money on, and then I just forked out. Well, I'm in Canada, so here's 1.4K for a P1S combo, and then I have it decked out. I printed a glass riser, LED strip in there. I bought every plate Bamboo Lab sold. Uh, so yeah, I have the cool plate engineering, smooth PI textured, all that stuff. I have my like a room in my house that I just 3D print in. Sunmu S2, 30 kilograms of filament. And yeah, if any companies are watching this, we'd love to, cooperate. I've worked with Polymaker for a sponsorship project for charity. Yeah, we'll talk about that maybe on next episode. But yeah, yeah, I've just been a student who's on a tight budget and decided to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah. Right now I'm working on our first short, like first actual video, and it's a Bamboo Lab plate tier list. Um, yeah, me and my friends, well, we had some time in school, so we did a 57-second uh voiceover, and then I just did on the CapCut, and I just took photos of the plates. Yeah. So I hope we can all look forward to that coming out probably by today or tomorrow. And I do have a STEAM project for my school, and Overture. Shout out to Greg, who at Overture, who sent me over a spool of their. Let me check. I believe it's blue. Yeah, blue PLA plus. They officially call it. Give me one sec here. They officially call it the digital blue PLA plus. Yeah, but he was nice enough to send it over. It's a school project, so our school's library near the projector panel, there's just a bunch of stationery that's really messy. So we wanted to clean that up, and we're doing a Gridfinity system. I'm designing in Tinkercad. Um, yeah, I know Fusion a little bit, but it's just not as easy. So any projects for you?
For me right now, nothing right now since I'm about to go on a trip. But once I come back, about to start, hopefully gonna start a YouTube channel. Pretty much without going too much into detail. Envision CNC Kitchen. but with more advanced tests is pretty much the idea of my channel.
Okay, yeah, I see. Because
So
our goal here was
yeah,
we decided that we're that we just wanted to, spread out into like many different categories of stuff. So like, we can do some,
yeah,
tech oriented, my tech fun style, testing videos, some maybe review videos for lucky enough to be blessed with that. And yeah, we'll just go from there.
yeah.
Yeah. So thanks y'all for joining this second episode of our podcast, and I hope to cherish each one of you as we go on our journey to grow. Thanks. Hello, guys. Welcome back to season 1, episode 3 of our EBK Prince podcast. Today, I'm here with Brandon. Say hi.
Yo.
And Red Boom, again, our guest speaker, here for part 2.
Hello.
Part 3.
Yeah, part 2 of him being here. But this is
Oh, okay.
officially our 3rd episode. Yeah. So today I want to talk about our future growth of the channel and what we're planning to go along with as we continue to grow. I will just change my mic. Yep. Okay. There we go. Sorry, that was the right mic. Okay. So yeah, eventually, first of all, our equipment. If you guys aren't aware already, we're just students. I'm on a MacBook. I'm using the default mic, cheap pair of headphones. And yeah, we're not able to afford expensive $1,000 camera yet. But that's, eventually that's going to be a longer journey. So right now, we were still editing our shorts. So as I finish that, maybe Red Boom, can you tell us how old you are, where you're from?
I will not disclose how old I am, but I am from Texas, or I am in Texas.
Okay, Texas, that's pretty good. We're from BC in Canada.
BC
So yeah,
Canada. Yeah.
yeah, one thing I am really jealous of, admittedly, is of people in the U.S. is that filament prices here in Canada are crazy.
Oh yeah, they're crazy high, bro.
Yes.
But somehow
I mean,
PLA
So
Plus and PLA Basic are like the same.
yes,
pretty much for like anything 3D printing related, you either want to be in America or China. Otherwise, you're not getting the best deals for sure.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, Kyle has like this uncle that just gives him free filament whenever he wants, so that's nice. I'm crazy jealous of him, bro.
yeah. Well, I'm just going
Also,
to
Kyle's probably
explore
not
our
going to be in
short.
this
Yeah,
podcast because, well, he has
yeah,
to do his homework.
yes, and he's there's a reason why I started this channel with 3 of us and some guest speakers is because there's a good chance that not all of us will always be available every moment of the day. And it's just important that we're able to keep some time for ourselves. And yeah, and that, because the goal is we're still able to live life. And we're, honestly, we're a very behind the scenes um, channel. So we are just going to be very honest about everything. And I'm going to be honest here. How do you make sure that a video? Okay, it's a short. Okay, I got it.
Yo, is your mic good?
My mic is
His
the
mic is
default MacBook mic.
going.
I
I
mean,
am.
I don't know, man. Like watching episode 1, at least like I didn't notice anything wrong. Like right now, sounds like there's an
I
air
think
cleaner
I think
behind
his
you.
mom is vacuuming, bro. Is your mom vacuuming?
Oh no, that's the blender. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So eventually I want to get a lav mic for $4 from AliExpress. So our audio is somewhat decent, which right now it's a complete loss, honestly.
Anyways,
Um.
we need to talk about the crime that is our school 3D printers, like the Anchormic M5. Like, what is that?
Yeah,
You
okay.
think we
First of
should
all,
talk about that?
disclaimer, no hate. We are just speaking in the perspective of honestly amateurs at 3D printing. But okay, first of all, the thing that pains me the most, like they're taking a print off the plate, right? So PLA, silk, and regular Anchormake PLA Plus is warping off the Anchormake M5's plate. The bed is at 65 degrees. Okay,
It was at 48.
it's not cold.
No. The one that was printing silk was at 48.
Oh no, that was after it cooled down. Yeah, they all set
Oh.
it to around 65. But the
Oh,
thing that I was like, why PLA should not warp ever? And then I saw how they take the prints off the plate. When they were done taking off, they wanted to wipe it down.
hands.
What did they
With their-
use? Not isopropyl alcohol, not a towel, not a paper towel. Their bare hands.
On the
Now,
plate.
I'm like, now that explains why all the PLA warps. And that also explains why probably the next print is gonna be spaghetti. So to all those people out there, please wash your plate with soap and water or isopropyl alcohol, and don't touch the printing surface of your plate unless you need to. If you have a
And just
double-sided
Oh,
plate, you
man.
can't touch the other side. Just make sure to redo it. Red Boom,
Just
do you have any
me.
stories about?
Wait. Ooh, okay. Let him talk. Let him
Yeah,
talk.
I always touch my plates. I have like never not. It's more if I always try to remind myself, and then like I touch it once and I'm like, screw it. But I have basically never had an adhesion issue recently. I mean, I don't do much PLA. I do more ABS. So that probably would explain why. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I always touch my
yeah.
plates.
I mainly do a PLA plus, PETG. I have some poly light Aerion PETG CF, and recently some Overture Easy Nylon, and also some Overture TPU.
Yeah, I think you said that in the first podcast.
Yeah.
What are you
The
typing,
the
bro?
thing yeah, I'm just uploading the short while we do this. Our new
Bruh.
short
Okay,
while we do
okay.
this. Our channel is brutally honest, so yeah. Um, what you see is what really happens. I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. If the printer breaks on me, I'm sorry, sponsors or to be
You should have
sponsors.
seen the layer shifts on that print, man.
Yeah, honestly, it's the AnchorMake M5 it's a decent printer. For the price,
Not too
that's another
much.
story.
If you're
But
gonna
you
get
just
like a bed slayer, yeah, just get an A1, please.
yeah, A1 or the new Cobra 3 combo. I am dying to review that, but I don't think any Cubic will be sending me one for a while. So
Yeah,
We're
right
broke.
now we right now we do seem to I probably should explain. I do work as a community manager for Anycubic. And right now it does kind of seem we are a little busy at the moment. I'm still trying to get myself a Kobe 3 combo right now. I think I'm close to getting one, but gonna have to see how it goes. But yeah. But it does seem like a very interesting machine. Seems, with the drying with the Anycubic AMS being able to dry filaments, it does seem like an one up from what Bamboo Labs has to offer.
yeah,
But with Bamboo Labs being such a
Mhm.
established company right now and what a lot of people find is reliable, it's gonna and with Anycubic having needless to say, a little worse reputation with their budget machines being very budget. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out and if
yeah,
it's worth the
but
push now.
yeah, I'm also interested to see how the K2 plus, yeah, K2 plus from Creality will go up because right now, they both on paper they look very good, cheaper than Bamboo. But one thing I am concerned is quality. We don't want a repeat of the A1 whole recall thing or even worse, right? But this time, as I seen in Above Wong Art's review of the early 3 combo, we can see that Anycubic didn't want to go down that road. They have a pretty thick cable going from that bed to the motherboard. Yeah. So I am interested to see. I This is good news because I want another AMS, and I hope that actual competition from other companies will really push Bamboo's prices down.
I
Yeah,
mean, honestly, I would argue the prices right now are already really cheap. Oh, sorry, you wanted to say something?
yeah, they're like, yeah, Bamboo's kind of like pushing it right now, but like, yeah, they're gonna continue getting cheaper and cheaper. Back then, they were like crazy, and the quality was pretty bad too.
Yeah, I
I was
honestly I
crazy.
really think. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if he said something was crazy and the quality is bad,
Yeah.
like referring to Bamboo or referring to like other
Just
manufacturers.
in general, for like
Uh,
3D
It's
printing.
just it's
yeah,
just Bamboo's been so groundbreaking with their X1 Carbon and then the P1S. But I think right now they've kind of lost the like element of surprise. They say they're releasing a new one by the end of the year, but Um, people think it's might be like a X1 XL or like a X2 or whatever. But honestly, I think the AMS, the regular enclosed AMS, is honestly too expensive for what it is. I might be saying this, I might be wrong, but I'm still confused. Why does a plastic shell that costs a couple of cents to injection mold and then a few electronics
So
here and there cost
here's the
four
thing.
hundred fifty dollars?
Here's the thing, right? So I mean, I've already said in the last podcast, I do have a Trident, Warren Trident, and
Yeah,
I went down the route of building an ERCF for it, the Range Rapid Carry Feeder, the version 1, because at the time the version 2 wasn't made yet. And I will say there are definitely a lot of hidden costs behind these type of systems. For example, the AMS, yeah, it looks really simple outside, but of course the feeders, the main board, the buffer, the servos inside controlling everything, and of course you can't just have weak servos. You gotta have actually decently strong servos if you're gonna pull filament from a 1 kilogram source. And of course, all
yeah,
these different systems that combined do make a cost. Of course, 350 is a little expensive. It probably could be close to 250 if I have to say, like with them still making
yeah.
a
I think
profit.
what?
Well,
Who
for
knows?
fair, yeah.
Yeah, I think
There
if
Yeah, I
feels
think
there's
definitely a lot
looking
of
more
at
cost behind it.
production,
I
if
think
like there's
if we
more
push
being
to like
created to
300 or 325 in Canada, I think that's reasonable. And I think at this point, one big cost of bamboo is their shipping. Um,
Oh,
their
true,
shipping
true.
is slow shipping. If it was fast shipping, sure, it's probably worth the 65 over here in Canada for a P1S combo to ship all the way to my house. But honestly, I
Oh,
think,
really?
yeah, it's 65 Canadian dollars just to
For
ship
us,
that
for
thing.
65.
us,
Oh,
at
dang.
least in US, it's only 25 here for shipping.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
lucky
So
because
you, bro.
it came
yeah,
from
here it's
Ontario.
very
I live
nice.
in BC. It's like what
Mm,
comparable to, I would say, maybe Oregon to border, Oregon to you know um Peace Arch, about almost that far,
yeah.
maybe a bit farther. But yeah, I think honestly, I think the shipping is one thing they can cut down. All the other companies are doing it, free shipping for their printers. I think honestly that's fairly inexcusable. You can't try to. I don't think it's reasonable to charge shipping when you're already paying
Yeah, yeah,
thousand
especially
dollars.
yeah, when like Amazon's literally giving you free shipping for anything over like $35, I believe. Like,
Yeah, and another problem I really hate to see is micro center. I want a micro center in Canada. I know that's not realistic. At least give us one in either Oregon, or Washington, preferably Seattle, because I always go on road trips down to Seattle. I stop by micro center. I can get some filament, right, for probably cheaper than what I can here. Here for us, Sunloop PLA Plus and Arione PETG is the cheapest on the bulk deals. 12 USD a roll, so about 17 Canadian dollars.
mm. Quick question to you, Red Boom and Ethan. What is your favorite filament, looks wise for now?
Yeah, I'll let Red go first.
I don't have one. I don't do very many like looking for fun things, so I don't have one.
Same here. However, yeah, I'm not really a looker. Kyle is he prints for fun,
Oh yeah,
and yeah, toys, fidgets, the cool
a lot of
kind of
display
new kid
stuff.
on the block kind of prints. But I'm really practical printer. The only remotely good looking filament I own is Polylight Starlight PLA. Their Neptune color is beautiful. Only complaint it's a little bit darker than I'd like it to be. But it prints great, and all my other filaments are just basic one tone colors. Yeah.
What about your wood and your marble?
Oh, my wood. Yeah. So there's this company in Canada down in Maple Ridge called Imperial Data Supply. So I was actually gifted a spool of wood PLA plus and marble PLA plus. Now I don't know if the marble spool is a lemon because it's very weak. I haven't touched it for I want to say 3 months. The wood
Oh,
PLA I use pretty occasionally, but the layer adhesion on the axis is pretty give or take. I did do a bamboo mouse out of that. Um,
hey,
yeah,
you
I
committed a
talked about
crime
it in
with
the
that, bro. I saw you in class. You cracked it and you started cutting away with it with scissors because you didn't have an Allen key. You committed a.
the case was
You're a
already
felon.
cracked. Yeah, the outer shell
No,
was already cracked.
you cut it with
Done.
scissors, bro. You're a
Yeah, it was
felon.
yeah, the case was already, done. Out. I couldn't use it anymore anyways. It was beyond repair. So just ripped it off because why not? Sitting through a bunch of presentations is not very fun. Yeah, so I guess that wraps about it. I'm gonna go drink a cup of water, and if they're up for it, we might go episode 4. See ya.
Alright. See ya.
Hello, welcome to episode 4 of EBKCast. I'm Ethan,
I'm Brandon.
and today we're going to be talking about what printer you should get or what printers are good right now in 2024. First of all, disclaimer: we're both Asian, so of course this will be from a quite rather
Cheap.
price-oriented direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be very price-oriented. That's going to be a big part of it. So first of all, I'd like to talk about the printer I own, the Bamboo Lab P1S. Do I wish I had an X1 Carbon? Yes, I do. Do I have the
Well,
money for
it's
that? Is it worth it?
nah.
For me, no. Yes, it's nice to have that higher bed temp, that aluminum panel, that beautiful touchscreen, the LiDAR sensor, the no calibration. But of course, and the AI monitoring and the better camera, but it's not really worth another 1,000 for me. Actually, in Canada, it's about 1,300 extra. So,
I
if I
can
had
get
that
that.
kind of money, yeah, I'd just buy 2 P1S combos instead. Um, yeah, but
So we're just
what I
trying to
do
get a
think,
farm going for like production
yeah,
because we're
I
selling
think
stuff to
eventually if
classmates.
we start selling more, because I do sell to some friends. For example, the other day I just did so it was for a math project he wanted to do. So it was just a cylinder that was what, palm size, I want to say, from fingertip to wrist, about that long, that high. Diameter was what, 5 centimeters. I think that it's it only cost about 14 cents to print. It was one wall extruded to 5.5 0.55 millimeters, and I want to say 5% cubic adaptive cubic infill. So, and then I managed to sell it for $5, and well, he ended up giving me 6 because he didn't change. But I think this is actually realistically a good business thing. So let's talk about printers that are good for a print farm. So I've heard many people like Shop Nation and other people who've gone for the Bamboo Lab P1P. Now, at first glance, one might say, okay, I have the there's a P1P that's for 770 Canadian dollars right now versus the Bamboo Lab A1,
Well, it really depends if you want
which,
AMS or not. If you want
yeah,
like
yeah. So by
combo.
itself, the A1 right now is 519 Canadian dollars. Now, first of all, I think someone who doesn't know much or is confused would say, why would I buy a P1P instead of A1? It has the same build volume. It boasts the same print speed of 500 millimeters a second. Both are compatible with AMS. Now, I would argue the P1P, you're buying it probably because you can afford a bit more than an A1. You want Core XY. Your acceleration is 2 times your acceleration of the A1, and it's not a bed slinger, it's Core XY. Here's the thing.
Slapping your
When
table, Ethan.
when you print stuff, your maximum speed doesn't really matter most of the time because you're switching directions so often. What really matters is your acceleration. Like a car, for example, let's say it's like the whole Tesla did that thing with the Cybertruck compared to a Porsche 911, right? In terms of speed. And Tesla said that they do the Cybertruck towing a Porsche 911 can go faster than a Porsche 911. Now, only because they did quarter mile, I think, quarter mile. The acceleration of the Cybertruck is insane, but its top speed is lower. Top speed didn't matter for that because it was so short distance, just like most of the things you print, that the top speed really doesn't matter because you'll barely reach that. But the really important thing is your acceleration. And they both have the same top speed, so there's not the P1P is just faster. And the thing is, you can add and turn it into a P1S if you want. Now, here's the thing: if you want to buy you want eventually to get a P1P with the AMS, it's just cheaper to straight up buy the P1S combo than it is to buy a P1P and an AMS separate, because there's no such thing as a P1P combo.
Yeah, AMSs are
Yeah.
like hella expensive right now. I'm guessing they're gonna go down in price like later on because they're
Yeah,
still pretty
because
new. 3D printing is pretty
yeah,
new, but like, man, Bamboo is pushing it right now.
yeah. So the A1 is 519 Canadian dollars by itself. The combo is 719. Now here's the thing. The combo is pretty attractive. However, I'm sorry, Bamboo, I have to say this. Right now there is an even more attractive option, and that is the Anycubic Cobra 3 combo. Now I will first of all, let's talk about the A1. Okay, remember this. It has an unenclosed AMS light, and it is fast to swap filaments because they have 4 filament paths, right? And it's an open frame with the purge. Now, this is what I like about the Cobra 3 combo. Their AMS is not only enclosed, it's also active drying. So you basically have what essentially well, it's not, it can't go as, I believe it only goes to 55 degrees Celsius or something like that. But it's still great. It's like you somehow shoved components of Sunlu S4 into a Bamboo Lab AMS, and then, they had a child, and then they gave birth to the Cobra 3 combo. Now, the thing I like about the Cobra 3 combo is it takes all the good parts of the good features of the P1 series and X1 series and takes the good parts of the A1 series and puts it all together in an Anycubic twist, traditional Cobra series twist. You get that beautiful touchscreen. I believe it's Clipper. Yeah, it should be Clipper. And
Ethan,
it's just
Ethan,
yeah.
Ethan. X1C is not like 1K expensive, bro. It's only like 600 more. You're tripping.
Oh no, no, you're on the US website. On the Canadian website, it's a lot more. Okay, so back to where I was. The Cobra 3 combo, it has the enclosed, it's called the Ace Pro, they call it. And they took the good parts of the X1 series, which was the enclosed AMS, added heating, and they implemented the better features of the A1, the AMS Lite for the A1 series, in which they have 4 PTFE paths from the Ace Pro and also into the toolhead, meaning that with the traditional AMS, the enclosed one, you have to draw your filament all the way back, about a meter back, and then replace it all the way in. The Cobra 3 and the A1 series don't have to do that. They just have to take it out of the tool head and out about a few centimeters. That saves time, and it's just like not as like the AMS system is honestly very unnecessary. Doesn't need to pull it all the way back. Yeah, and right now it's on pre-sale for 450 US dollars, which is 615 Canadian dollars. So compared to the A1 combo, and the A1 combo, you still need to pay shipping. Anycubic's shipping, I believe, is free. So after shipping, you're looking at about $775 probably. While you're looking at 615 for the Cobra 3 combo. It is worth noting that the Cobra 3 combo only boasts a slightly smaller build volume of, I believe it was, let me check. 250 by Z height 260. So it's only about 6 millimeters smaller on the X and Y and 10 above for the Z axis. So yeah, I think if I got to choose between the A1 combo and the Cobra 3 combo, I would probably choose the Cobra 3 combo. Now we need to see how they implement their software, their hardware, and their firmware. Now, Brandon can probably relate to this, but we all know how good it is on the school X1C to do prints, right?
Oh yeah. Like comparatively to like everything else, like right now, at least for our school stuff, like it's crazy good. But I mean, just saying, like it's just not worth it to like for like like bunch of people because right now it's for like the Ankamic M5s are for prototyping, and then when they finally get everything like calibrated and everything, they move it over to the X1. But because it's so expensive, they only have one, but they have two M5s. So I'm just saying, like, it's a bit over the top. If you want get a print farm, yeah, like what Ethan said.
Yeah, the X1C is great, but unless you're really like such a big print farm that you can actually afford it, it's a lot more economical because once you calibrate the filament, the basic stuff, you only need to calibrate once. If you stay consistent with your filament, there's really no need to get an X1 carbon. You can get a lot more, P1 or A1 or Cobra 3 printers. Yeah, I think the Cobra 3 combo, it's certainly not the cheapest out there. The Creality Ender 3 V3 SE goes for about 250 Canadian dollars on sale, which it always pretty much is. Um, it's a great printer that only goes to 250 millimeters a second. It's a bed slinger. It's small, traditional Ender 3 size, but it's a great workhorse. But I think if you're going for a print farm, it's justifiable to go to the Cobra 3 combo. Now, if any cubic or anyone that can, influence any cubic is listening to this, I'd really love to see the Cobra 3 combo implement into Orca Slicer or yeah, with the same similar easy to use features such like the bamboos, right? Where you can
Like
just
that, if
slice.
it gets a lot of sales and it's like very popular in like the
Yeah,
community, it's definitely gonna get into Orca Slicer and everything else. And also,
yeah, you can
Cobra
just hit.
3 is very good
Yeah,
value. It's also on sale right now, at least for
yeah, it's on the
US.
pre-sale.
It's like
No, on
that's
Canada too.
crazy
It's the
good.
pre-sale. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And what I like about it is you can just I like about the bamboo printers and Orca slash Bamboo Studio implementation is that you can just hit slice, you're done slicing, you hit print, and it just sends you can send it right off. I think if any Cubic can do that exact interface or similar interface on Orca Slicer, work with Orca Slicer, or have their own equivalent of Orca Slicer with all the features, and they can actually keep up with the updates, then there's basically no doubt I would choose the Cobra 3 over the A1 combo any day of the week because now you have the Ace Pro actively drying, multicolor printing, and it actually is even faster. It boasts 600 millimeters a second. Now, how realistic that is with the bed slinger, um, I think at that point, um, your limitation is not your speed, it's how much your desk shakes because eventually, I'm pretty sure at one point, there will be such a limit on 3D printers that our plastic just can't keep up with it. Currently are like, no, there are like high speed PLAs and PETGs, but those are really way too expensive for what it is. For a regular cost, just like regular PLA or PETG, PLA tops out at about what 300 millimeters a second realistically in print quality to get good quality prints. And it doesn't matter. Like the new FL Sun printers, S1 and T1s. Um, let's take a look here. Yeah, they have their new printers. Now the thing is, they're oops, sorry, I'm on the UK store. Okay, here we go. So their S1 printer boasts 1,200 millimeters per second and 40,000 millimeters per second squared acceleration and a large circular build volume. Now, yes, it does hot end reaches 350 degrees Celsius. However, it's so fast that I don't think even in 2 years, regular, like basic cheap cost PLA can keep up with that speed. Right now, our limitations, even with bamboo, is not your max speed. It's how fast your filament can keep up with that. And so we're already at a point. So I think the bamboo is still going to be relevant in about 3 years from now.
Yeah, but I think
And
that like what Bamboo needs to do to improve is like just start killing the prices. They're getting more and more competition. Like Cobra 3, that's probably gonna kill out the A1. But like yeah. And also for Anchor Make, seriously, Anchor Make needs to start innovating,
yeah, I've heard
please.
some rumors that Anchor Make is dead. They're not Anchor. Okay, so backstory. There's a very popular tech company called Anchor that makes everything from charging bricks, cables, and even USB-C hubs for MacBooks, right? And and power banks too. They're a very premium tech company. They were always expensive. Their tech was always expensive, and they always will be. And so AnchorMake is their 3D printer series for that company, and they're trying to head into 3D printing. You see that same, beautiful chrome color. Beyond the looks and the simplistic look, it's really too much money for what it is. Like if I go to the website, it says unbeatable price. AnchorMake M5 printer starts only at $459. That's US dollars. And that is literally
Cobra 3.
the same price. That's actually $10 more than the Cobra 3 combo right now. It's smaller. It has no AMS. The camera is angled weirdly. It's slower. It's not as good of a printer. And it boasts 500 millimeters a second, but realistically, with those rubber V-slot rollers, you're not reaching that. Your maintenance is going to be crazy. It boasts a 17-minute bench heat. I don't think that's actually very impressive nowadays. I think the
Yeah.
Liam Ray managed to get a sub 5-minute bench heat on a P1S. I don't think he modded much or anything at all. He just threw in a
He
new
just
hot
like
end.
overrided like the print speed and stuff with Orca Slicer.
Yeah,
That's
no,
about
he
it.
just went into Orca Slicer and did just entered higher numbers, and it just worked. And like it's not what the slicer said. He actually timed. So I think that the M5 and M5C, to those who own this, I'm sorry, but you're out of the question right now. If AnchorMake does not release anything completely groundbreaking, they're dead. They're gone as a company.
Like experience at school, the Anchor Make. Like I saw their prints. First of all, like that layer shift was crazy big. Second of all, like sure it could be because like they're not taking the best care of it. I'm pretty sure they like dry their filament with desiccant and stuff, but like they do like wipe their hands on the print bed, but like still, what is that warping, man? Like everything,
Yeah,
like
PLA,
PLA
no
should
matter
not
what,
warp.
there's no excuse. PLA, it was on a 65 degrees Celsius plate. There is no excuse ever for PLA to warp. Open frame, this, that, bed slinger, it doesn't matter. PLA should never warp.
And
And I
just saying
think,
it's like incredibly slow. It's just incredibly slow for that
you know,
price.
here's the thing. Bamboos, right? It says 500 millimeters a second. It actually realistically does that. The M5, it says 500 millimeters a second. Yes, you can. Yes, technically travel speed can go that fast, so you push it to go that fast. But honestly, I feel like that's just over marketing. Realistically, it's not going to reach that speed because you're on V-slot rollers. If you do, you're going to be replacing that really fast. You're going to get all this rubber dust here and there. It's going to heat up like crazy because of all that friction going through this and that. I don't think there's a reason why the A1 and the A1 and the A1 Mini can go that fast because they have to use linear rails. Now, if you guys don't know, linear rail is top of the line. It's top of the line. It's speed. It's fast. It's accurate. It's precision. The Cobra 3 combo, I believe, also should be using the linear rails. At least they're not using V-slot rollers. If they are, they're using metal ones. Yeah, I think any cubic or either Elegoo or both, we're always using metal V-slot rollers. That's fine. Yeah, it seems like they're using metal V-slot rollers. Looks like, but that's fine. Metal is fine. Only complaints I've heard people had was some people said it was loud, but honestly, that doesn't matter.
Like looking at the Anchor Make M5 printing, like it's literally if you don't want to like overrun it, like absolutely burn it out. If you're like just running it regular, it's printing half the speed of like something like Bamboo would make. And also for the Cobra 3, max is 600 millimeters per second. That's max. If you're like printing it regular, like you could still get up to like kind of up to par with Bamboo.
Yeah, the good thing about the Cobra 3 is it's tested, I believe, to reliably print at 600 millimeters a second. It'll last pretty long with that, which means if you tune it down even to half, 300 millimeters a second, on regular Sunloop PLA Plus, you are still going to do great because you're using only at half of its maximum potential. And this maximum potential is actually engineered to do that well. So I think we're at pretty much our time limit. So we're gonna end this episode of this podcast. But I believe Bamboo really needs to start making innovation. And thanks for hopping on.
Anchor make more. No, Anchor make more.
Yeah,
Bro.
Anchor Make also needs to improve. Okay, thanks guys.
Hello guys. So today Brandon and Kyle aren't here, but I am joined with Turbo, our guest speaker. Say hi.
Whoa.
Ooh. So I believe he's from which server?
I am from the Polymaker Discord. That is where we
Yes. And so he has a Twitch channel. So I will probably link that in the description if I remember. But today's topic is going to be pretty loose. So first of all, I'm going to get Turbo here to introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Turbo, or TurboSWAT925, or just Isaac, whatever you guys would like to call me. I'm pretty much just an average 3D printing person. There's nothing really too special about that. Yeah.
Yes. So what printers do you own?
I currently only have one, and it's an Ender 3 V2, but it's been heavily modified. So I'm hoping
so I
at some point to expand the arsenal up to maybe 2 or 3, but now I'll just stick with one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's similar to my mentor, who heavily modifies. He has a heavily modified Ender 3 and a heavily modified CR10.
Oh,
And
nice.
so I have a Bamboo Lab P1S that I didn't mod it, but I just threw in a new hot end, those V2 ones. And I printed a LED riser, just some quality of life add-ons, if you will. But
Kind of like peace of mind
yeah.
things.
Yeah, like just to make life easier, like the poop shoot. And I just ordered more filament. So I own all types of filament from Sunloop PLA Plus to Polymaker Starlight PLA. I just ordered a bunch more PLA Plus from Sunloop and
Nice.
PetG from Arion. So I think after those arrive, I'll be in around 35 to 40 kilograms of material that
Nice.
I have on hand. Most of it is duplicate though, so yeah. I mostly print for practical things. If you I don't know if you've watched our other podcasts, but we did talk about engineering materials, and what types of materials do you use?
I mostly just print with PLA because I don't really print for anything too specific. I just do a bunch of like silly models that I find on like printables and like Fangs and places like that. But I do use PetG every now and then. Starting to use it a lot more now that I have an all metal hot end, and I've kind of fallen back in love with it. Use PetG for if I'm doing stuff for outside, or in this case, I'm doing a dual Z upgrade for my 3D printer right now, so I'm putting all the parts for that out of PetG. For anyone curious, it's the Kevin, aka Sam, belted ender mod.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I think, yeah. Oh, it's for the Z axis, right?
Yeah. I unfortunately, since I upgraded to my Sprite Pro extruder, which is a super good upgrade, really nice, worth the money if you're like me and aren't really too familiar with electronics and wiring and soldering and stuff. Since I upgraded to that, I've noticed that I have gantry sag. I've fixed it for now by just like tilting my bed to accommodate for the gantry sag, but I'm also not really a fan of single Z anyways. So I just want to, upgrade it to dual Z, make it a little bit more reliable, and because it's belted, it can be a little bit faster too.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to just talk to people who aren't like just plug and play because I'm like very like lazy, honestly. The
It's
hardest
fair
thing
though.
of maintenance, yeah, I can say the hardest thing I went through for maintenance is um figuring out why my printer wouldn't extrude. And that was due to
Mm.
one little metal piece in the bamboo extruder when I put in my new extruder gears that connects the screw, which pushes in the spring. Just one little circular metal
Oh,
disc. And my printer did not work. It took me 2 days to figure out. And the other time, my AliExpress hardened steel extruder gears, they were getting stuck once every few revolutions for some reason. So I finally figured that out, and I just sprayed some WD-40, and it just fixed itself. So
yeah, I mean, if it works, it works.
yeah, so I imagine if you've watched the channel, I do try to be very budget for everything. So I just try to save money where I can, right?
Yeah, and like I get that. I'm kind of in a similar situation, except for the Sprite Pro. I did definitely spend, yeah, I think it was like 100 and some odd dollars Canadian for it. Like I said earlier, super super worth it for me, especially because I'm not, you know, good when it comes to wiring and stuff. But I do try and
Yeah,
do things really cheap. So like I'm gonna order a bunch of parts off of AliExpress and give me some money that way. So
yeah, I'm very similar. I just try to order things from AliExpress. Do have a lav mic coming in because right now my audio is pretty crappy, honestly.
nice.
I'm gonna come clean. But
You
yeah, I
don't
really
sound
try to
too
save
bad,
filament.
but
Okay, yeah.
you don't sound
I'm
too
just
bad
using
here.
yeah, I'm just using my default MacBook mic, so take that
Hey,
with a
it
grain of
works
salt.
great. So
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat. Yeah, so yeah, I'm more of a practical printer. My friend Kyle, who also helps run this channel along with Brandon. Brandon doesn't have a printer yet. He might get one. But oh yeah, he's online right now. Let me see if I can get him to hop in here.
I should start doing
Um,
more practical parts, but I don't have
yeah.
an enclosure for my printer. So if I wanted to do stuff out of like ABS and ASA, I kind of can't without it warping like crazy.
Now here's the thing. So I went down the path of Polylite PC, and now I'm trying out Overture Easy Nylon. I'm enclosed.
Ooh,
My mentor decided to go down the road of ASA. Personally, I really don't want to deal with ABS and ASA. Okay. He says he can hop on later. Oh, yeah, he'll hop on right now.
nice.
Okay. Hello, everyone say hello to rival Brandon.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello. Yeah, so today's episode, in case you didn't know, we are actually
Mhm.
talking about Turbo over here, and right now we're discussing um, material types that we use for practical prints. So
Sweet.
yeah,
Cool.
like I was saying, I decided to go down the road of Polylite PC and Overture Easy Nylon instead of ASA. Now my mentor went down the path of ASA, but even he has X1C. Closed the door, the exhaust fan with the filter, has an outer enclosure that ventilates outside, and he still gets a headache when he
Oh,
walks near his
jeez.
printer. Now, and he has a family, a dog, and stuff. So I I just do it in my rental unit. Well, basically, just an extra room I have in the house. And I really don't want to take the chances because my family, one of my family members is she even gets sensitive to the dust off my plastic dust. That's like
Oh
not
yeah,
like
I
day
remember.
after day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
Dude, like
not
the
floating around.
old people are really like sensitive to that. Oh yeah, by the way,
Yeah,
I was cooking a steak, so my bad, bro.
yeah, yeah. We're normal. We live lives. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I get that. I can understand not wanting to do, materials such as ABS and ASA if you've got like a family and stuff. And like I'm in the same boat. I've got I've got a family. I've got a dog. Yeah, I don't really want to subject them to those fumes, so I think for now I would stick to ASA because I've heard that it's not as bad in terms of fumes as ABS. But I wouldn't know. I've never tried any of them. I do want to try like nylon at some point, like Polymaker's PA12. I want to try that
Okay.
mostly because I have a
I think
project that requires nylon. So
yeah. You're in Canada or
yeah,
yeah, okay. So I would recommend you get some Overture Easy now. Give that a try. It's only $30 on
oh, that's not
Overture's
that bad.
Canada website. Yeah. And honestly, it's warp-free technology, they say too, and it didn't warp for me. Supports are, it's between patchy.
Like
Oh, sorry. It's
stronger
similar to
materials right now?
yeah, it's
What are we
similar
talking
to
about?
PC support removal.
Oh, okay.
My thing though with nylon is if I want to do it, excuse me, is if I want to do nylon, I need to A, upgrade my printer's firmware so that it'll actually get to a higher temperature than 260 so that I can do
Yeah.
nylon, and B, I would be in dire need of a filament dryer, especially right now because it has been humid the last few days. Like that nylon would turn into a sponge in this room.
Yeah, my house's relative humidity is about
Ethan.
50%. Yeah,
Wait,
go ahead.
Ethan. When you printed nylon, it didn't warp?
Yes, because the Overture Easy Nylon, it's called Easy Nylon for a reason. Just like all the Polymaker nylons, they have warp-free technology, they call it.
Oh
And well,
shoot, W.
of course, the 100-degree Celsius bed. I did print a large print out of Polylite PC, and it did warp, but I did not preheat the chamber. It might be better if I do that next time. It ended up warping so bad, well, starting to warp so bad, that I was afraid it like just rip off the plate even with a huge outer brim. So I
I
just
had that
said,
happen
screw
to
it.
me once with a
Yeah.
giant part that I was doing. What sucked
Oof.
is that it was like 130 grams of filament,
Oof.
and yeah, it sucked. But what's worse is that it
Yeah.
was PLA. PLA
Oh,
doesn't like to warp because my room is so small. It's literally like just over 6 feet across and like
Wait, your PLA
9 feet
warps?
deep.
Your
PLA
PLA
will
warp?
warp in my room if it gets hot enough. Like if I have my bed
yeah.
temperature at like 60, 65,
Dude,
it'll
how?
it'll
Do you
start
not
to warp
open
a little bit.
Windows? Do you not open
Um,
Windows?
No, here's the
not
thing.
usually no, because it's just very hot.
Here's the
Like
thing.
Dang.
The
if I'm doing
reason
Pet
why,
G,
yeah,
I don't open Windows.
yeah. The reason why materials don't warp and stick to the bed is because, without any glue, right? That's how textured PI works. Heat. Because
Yeah,
the stuff, right? It just wants to stick to the hot plate. But when surrounding temperature is not hot enough is hot enough to counteract, or like the difference isn't enough, then you start gonna have warping, right? Or
that's why
you just don't
PLA
have a
doesn't
clean
like
bed.
enclosures.
Yeah.
It's all
Okay.
the hot temperature in there. It's like the opposite of ABS in a sense.
PLA does not warp in an enclosure.
Huh,
The
really?
only problem you
I've heard
have
it
with
does.
it doesn't for me with my P1S. 55
Nice.
degrees Celsius bed, smooth or textured PI. Problem is extruder clog, heat creep. That's why I use or
Yes, that's what I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of. Yeah.
Hey, Turbo.
yeah.
What's up?
Yo, what kind of printer do you have? Like
Yeah,
I
he has
have an
a
Ender
chamber?
3
yeah,
V2.
yeah.
Oh,
He's
it's open
heavily
chamber?
modded. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
It's
open.
got like a spread extruder. It's gonna have belted Z at some point. Got a new bed because I'm not a fan of glass. And get a
Yeah,
bed probe and stuff eventually, and then some custom firmware later on down the line.
yeah. I mean, I think eventually, like we talked before, the Cobra 3 combo is very compelling. And I think eventually, because of that, I think Bamboo's prices are gonna have to be forced down. So who
To
knows?
be honest,
Maybe we
yeah.
can
We
save
might
up
even
for
make a short
A1.
about it.
Yeah,
I'm
we
looking
are
forward
actually.
to the Creality K2 and their
Ooh.
multicolor system.
Yeah, but like, can you afford that? Will you be able to? Like, could
Don't
you
know,
spare the
but
money
like
for
my
that?
main thing is that don't really want another bed slinger because as much as like
Yeah.
they're cool, I'd rather have something enclosed or if I wanted to do like ABS, ASA, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Doing
because
an
when I
enclosure with a bed
started,
slinger is just
yeah,
challenging.
when I started, I pretty much was like I only did PLA plus. That was the only filament I owned. I had black. I started with one spool of black PLA plus, one spool of white PLA plus. That was all I thought I would print for the next 5 months. But here I am. That's why I bought the P1S. I knew eventually I wanted carbon fiber. Eventually I wanted PC, nylon, whatever, all that, maybe ABS or ASA one day if I really wanted to. At least I have the enclosure, right? So I wanted to,
Yeah.
dump the extra money. It's a good investment. 6 months in, no regrets.
That's fair. I can't really say I'm in the same boat. I saw my printer at a Canada Computers of all places, and me being stupid like 9 months ago, I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna buy it. Like I didn't do any research on it, realizing that I could have got a better printer for cheaper and stuff. But I mean, as
Yeah,
much as I say that I hate my printer, I love it to bits.
yeah. Originally, I was planning to actually go for uh, uh okay, yeah. Originally, I was planning to go for a resin printer. I did not know that resin is toxic. I did not know that the print bed was fairly small and that it was pretty much useless. And guess what? The supposed resin printer I got for 100 Canadian dollars turned out to be a wash and cure station.
Ooh.
Uh, and then I remember when I actually got serious and I talked about getting a printer. Yeah, Rival has to hop out here. It's fine, but we'll continue. I actually considered getting Ender 3 V3 SE. Now, 250 Canadian dollars, standard Ender 3 goes to 250 millimeters a second. It's a pretty solid starter printer.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I have some money. I can, who knows? I was planning, hey, what? Maybe get a print farm when I can grow into it. I can just buy like 5 of these. Then my mentor, I went to his house to see what he did with his printers, and he just got the X1C combo. And then I was checking that out. I was like, okay. And then he recommended me the P1S combo, and I was like, damn, that's good. Now I was considering P1P or P1S, but then I needed the AMS and P1P. There's no such thing as P1P combos. It was P1P separate AMS or P1S combo. And at least in Canada, I'm pretty sure for the rest too, is that the P1S combo is actually cheaper than a P1P and AMS separate because of shipping and also just the way they price it. So, do you ask me, did I spend a bit more money than I was, supposed to? Yeah. Do I regret it? Can I afford it? I don't regret it and I can afford it. So that's great.
Yeah, it's always kind of like looking at a purchase, especially like a purchase that big of, a 3D printer. It's like, is it gonna be worth it? And then, 6 months down the line, when you're potentially even making money selling 3D prints, you're like, yeah, worth it. I'm like that with my printer. I'm like, yeah, this was probably one of the best purchases I've made in my entire life. Also, at the same time, one of the worst. 'Cause it's
Yeah, I
now
feel
started an
like
addiction for me.
me too. Yeah. At the beginning, I swore to myself, I shall only own one spool of black and white PLA plus, and here I am
Yeah.
with all colors, all material types. And it's just really tempting to hit buy, especially when you have $874, just sitting
Yeah, I
around.
feel I feel yeah. I went to Canada Computers yesterday, and I needed to buy a cable for my dad, and I ended up walking past their filament. They all have
Oof.
like Creality, like the Creality
Oh,
matte stuff. Like they
are you
have
talking about
even the
the
Hyper series actually, and they
oof.
also have like another generic brand, and they have a bunch of Sunlu filaments, which I
Yeah.
love Sunlu stuff. I've heard bad things about them, but I haven't personally experienced anything bad about them. So yeah, I ended up impulse buying a spool of Sunlu tricolor silk filament, and it has become my new favorite filament. It is gorgeous.
Yeah. I live in BC. What about you?
I live in Ontario.
Ooh, okay, that explains it. Ontario, yeah, there's a lot more options. Actually, most of the warehouses are in
Yeah.
Ontario, anyways. I live in
There's a lot
BC,
of
so
there's a lot of
yeah,
companies out in Ontario, so
yeah,
it's a little bit hard for people out in BC. Like I know a bunch of people. There's a guy that runs a commercial print farm somewhere on the west coast of Canada. I'm not gonna say for sure because A, I don't know for sure, and B, I don't want to dox him. So he was saying like, you guys have it so easy out in Ontario, and he's not. He was joking with me saying like, I hate the fact that you can drive to the 3D Printing Canada warehouse and have it not be a multi-day trip.
yeah. The one thing I really hate about living in Canada for 3D printing that I discovered was it's so expensive. There is no micro center.
Yeah,
I'd have to drive. No, I'd literally have to drive like 5,000 kilometers or just take a flight. I can
yeah,
just
it's
imagine like,
crazy.
TSA just opening my luggage and then just seeing like 10 spools of filament and they're like, "What?"
They're like, what is all of this? What is your intention?
Yeah, another thing is I like Japan and in
Hmm.
Daiso in Japan, there's these magnets that are you get 25 magnets for one, well now 80 Canadian cents. And that's a steal. Now, if I got to go to Japan again, I think TSA would stop me for having carry-on full of like 5,000 magnets. But
One thing I don't like about 3D printing in Canada is shipping costs.
ooh, yeah.
So yesterday at the time of recording, I don't know when you're going to upload this, but
Oh yeah, it's gonna
yesterday,
be today or tomorrow. Yeah.
okay, nice. So the 25th of May was International Clee Day. Now I don't know much about it, but the Voron Discord they pinged the whole server saying that a bunch of vendors had deals going on, and so decided, yeah, you know what? I'll check out some filament because they had filament for like 20% off. Um, so no shade at the company, but I was looking at some West 3D filament, like their Ambrosia filament, I think the lineup is called,
Yeah.
and it had a roll of I think it was a rainbow silk gradient, and I'm like, you know what? I'll get that because it was $20, I think, 25 bucks. The shipping cost alone to get it to my house was like $45. Total
Dang.
came up to like $65. I'm like, okay, that's a little bit ridiculous, but I guess that's just the Canada tax.
That's exactly why I always buy until I get free shipping.
I would do that, but so like Polymaker, it's free shipping for over $100, I think. And I
Yeah.
don't want to buy $100 of filament because I don't know where I'd put it. I also already have like 25 spools, so
Yeah.
don't need more
I
filament.
love Polymaker. I've been
Oh, me too.
sponsored by them for school project. I've yeah, I think eventually, who knows, if they're willing, I'd like to collab. Maybe, help them out, be
That'd
helped
be
out.
pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of Polymaker too.
yeah, their stuff is great quality, but the only thing that really, is a deal breaker for me is the price. If they, um,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can
know
see
if
that.
anyone from Polymakers hearing this, but if you ever have a 50% deal, just ping me for 15 Canadian dollars. I will buy like the amount of spools I will buy. It's incomprehensible.
Jeez.
Like,
Like,
damn, if
I
it
do agree though the price is a little bit high, but I feel
yeah.
like for what you're getting, it's really worth it. Like I have had zero problems with my polymaker spools from the factory. If that makes sense. Like I had a spool tangle, but that's just because I dropped it.
No.
Like
Yeah, it's like
polymaker stuff is really nice. Oops, sorry about that. It just finished and I have a
that's
little
fine.
beep that goes off. But
Yeah.
polymaker stuff super nice. I'm not sponsored personally. I wish I was. So polymaker, please hit me up if you want. But yeah, polymaker stuff super great. Another brand that I really like is Sunlu. Mentioned it a little
Oh,
earlier, but
yep, me too.
Sunlu's great. Especially since it's one of the only brands that I can get that's like a 5 minute drive down the road or however long it takes for me to get to the Canada Computers by my house. It's it's nice to know that the filament that I have is great quality and is not going to fail on me.
Yeah. Oh, brother for brother loco. On Sunlu right now, their bulk deal, minimum order is 3. It says minimum order 6 on the page, but it really is 3. It's only $12 per roll, so about
No, I was checking that
15.
out. Checking that out earlier today, and if I didn't just buy a spool, I would have probably went through with it.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I've analyzed them. This is the cheapest they've had in 4 months. So right now, it's so good that
Ooh,
their white black is gone. Same as gray.
uh,
I picked up the last 2 spools of white.
nice. You see,
I
like
had it saved in my cart.
would go for stupid filament colors. Well, not stupid filament colors, but like not red. Jeez, not white, black, and gray. Because like I like to print, as I mentioned earlier, I like to print like funny looking, cool little figurines, and printing them out of black isn't really, I guess, good looking unless I'm gonna send them
Yeah.
off and get them painted. So I like getting like those crazy silks and like dual colors and
Yeah.
stuff. Like don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I do like dark color filaments like gray, black, even white, but I'll use those for if I'm like prototyping something.
Yeah. So as we end off here, because we're absurdly over time. Well, at least according for other podcasts. Yeah, we're probably going to record back to back though. But as we end off here, I'd like to say to any 3D printing company out there, big or small, please sponsor me. I'll do anything. If you're a Polymaker, Anycubic, or Overture, even if you don't sponsor me, I'm gonna say nice things. So even if you pay me to say nice things, that's actually honest because I have
Just
good
getting
things to say
free
about you
advertising.
anyways. Yeah. It's yeah, I am gonna advertise you whether you sponsor me or not, because your stuff is actually genuinely good. I'm excited to see. So thanks guys, and we're going to put this in post processing.